What's up, Running Universe? Welcome to Pressing Questions. My name is Lee Sackett. We have a really special guest on the show today, like maybe the most special so far. We're able to get Alex Mimlitz on, and I'm not going to say anything about him. I'll let him tell you who he is, where he's at, and what he's doing. Alex, who are you? Where are you? What are you doing?
Hey everyone. First thing, I want to say thanks to Lee for having me on the show. I love the content he's creating, and I'm really grateful to be here. So my name's Alex, like Lee said. I'm out in Boise, Idaho. Specifically, I operate the Fleet Feet in Meridian, and that's how I spend a lot of my time. I love to run. I love to connect with the community, and I'm just really passionate about helping people reach their goals and be the best version of themselves.
Alex is modest, so he's not going to say this, but he's extremely tenured in the running community, and he's been a part of Fleet Feet for a very, very long time, and he's like a staple and a fixture of the running community in Boise. And the reason we wanted to get him on the show, in light of current events, I woke up the other morning, I think it was about like a week ago, like 7 days ago, obviously logged into Strava to see who was like putting up miles that day, and Alex ran 50 miles. Why did you do this? And why did you do it now?
I think like many others with the current events have experienced, my race was canceled. It was supposed to be on March 21st, and it was actually a 6-hour timed run at Eagle Island State Park, which is just north of Meridian out here in Idaho. And so when that was canceled, you train months, and for that to get taken away, it stings a bit. But I've learned the best way to respond in those moments is to create your own opportunities. Long story short, I was waiting on a test result for COVID because I was exposed to someone that whose roommate tested positive, and that's a whole other story. But anyway, I'm kind of waiting for this call, and I'm like, as soon as I get that call, I'm going to knock this run out. So got the call on Tuesday, and I was like, tomorrow's the day. So just planned out the route and told some close friends about it to practice social distancing, of course. I was like, this is where I'll be when. I'd love for you to join me as long as we stay 6 feet away. And started around 12 o'clock last Wednesday. And instead of doing 6 hours, I thought it'd be a little easier and a little more simple from a route standpoint, just to round up to 50 miles. And it was a cool day, special day for sure.
Can't believe you went from potentially having this thing that's put the brakes on contemporary Western society as we know it, getting a test for that, and then being like, I'm trying to mentally get ready to run 50 miles. When you sign up for a race, you're doing the training to test your worth against other humans. You want to toe the line and compete against yourself and everyone else who put up the training. It is a testament to where you stand in the culture of the sport that we're all obsessed with. Why did you feel the need to still do it? Why did you race?
When I think of my personal running journey, I see in different phases being focused on different things. And ran in college, and during those times, focusing more on 5K to 10K distances, the competitive orientation of beating others was a big focus during that phase of my running life. But I quickly realized as that kind of fizzled out, that running really is about competing with yourself, because you could be so fast. There's always going to be someone faster than you. And it doesn't matter if you're winning the race or you're the last finisher in. Everyone knows what it feels like to stand on that starting line and be a little nervous before that gun goes off. Everyone knows what it feels like to get 2/3 of the way through that race and be like, man, am I going to make this thing? And it's that connectiveness that really doesn't have anything to do with anyone else out there. I love the community of it, and I love the infrastructure that a race provides. But man, running is a battle against yourself, and that's when you learn the most about who you are and what you're made of. So to me, like, race got canceled, but I wasn't really signing up for that anyway in the first place. So
did you have any moments like mile 35 where you're like, I'm not running 15 more miles?
Those moments always come. I was actually really lucky to have someone on the bike with me and do the entire thing with me. And I was telling her name's Megan, and I was like, so this is going to get pretty challenging, probably around 30 to 35 miles. I might stop talking, and I'm going to get in this headspace where I'm going to need to be completely focused on the present moment. Fortunately, last Wednesday, that moment came around mile 22 or 24, which was way earlier than expected.
Probably like, why is this dude not talking? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I was like, that moment begins now. But one thing that I've learned, and I'm still definitely on the journey of really understanding, really focus on staying super present. So you want to be proactive, where you're not even thinking about how far you've gone or how far you have to go. You just want to be super focused on exactly what's happening. And that's easy said, but I'll say it's really challenging. And then you got to have a mantra. When those thoughts start to creep up, mine's take out the trash. So if I start to hear in my brain, oh man, you still got 20 miles to go, I just instantly have tried to train myself to say, take out the trash. That's trash. It's wholly irrelevant. Doesn't matter. This moment, focus, dial in, relax, run strong, you know?
That literally just gave me chills because that is such a mantra for the current state of things. If we're gonna push through this thing, this like current moment in history, if you're not having low moments, then you're not human. And every once in a while, I get filled with dread just like the next person. But if we just collectively say, when that happens, take out the trash, focus on the day to day, what can we control? Like, I'm going to go jog a 5K because I can.
You know, now more than ever, we need to focus on the present and what we can control. So take
I
out
had
the
like
trash,
think
man.
about how can running benefit people who are staying at home right now? What can running do for people who are inside and maybe don't have a running background or who are, contemplating how they can keep their head about them?
One of my favorite quotes, this is again cliche, but only when I'm breathing heavy, I notice I'm breathing at all. And I really like that quote because what running brings you, right, is this heavy breathing. But remembering, like, you're alive, man. Like I can feel my breath. So I'm existing. I'm alive. And literally running makes me feel more alive because of that. So getting outside, feeling the fresh air, getting that heart rate up, and just testing yourself, sweating a little bit, right? Those basic, just basic human functions, basic physiology, like heightening that a little bit, I think reminds us how grateful we can be to still live and to have this opportunity to positively impact the world. And yeah, this sounds kind of deep, but running definitely brings that to the forefront for me. And if it can do that for other people, like I do nothing but encourage them to get that feeling because it's contagious and that creates momentum.
Hell of a quote and a hell of an answer to that. You have made me feel better. So two thank yous. A, thank you for talking to me because I feel generally better right now. That was really nice. And then thanks for taking the time out of your day to chat with me about your run. Like I said, you're here because that inspired me and a lot of other people, and so we were like, let's have them, talk to as many people as we can about it. But yeah, once
Thanks.
again, Alex works for Fleet Feet, and you can still purchase shoes and get curbside pickup with Fleet Feet from a majority of Fleet Feet locations. So once again, Alex, thanks, man.
Of course, Lee. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity. And I'll also share, I did run the whole thing in a pair of Brooks Ravenna. Great shoes. Gotta love
I
Brooks.
wasn't gonna ask. I wasn't gonna ask. What about talking
And
about?
thanks.
I like that.
Yes, Lee did not know that at all before this. But thanks to Lee and thanks for Brooks for creating awesome content to hopefully inspire people. I know this inspires people, what you're doing, Lee, and being super intentional to share these stories in times when we need them the most. So thanks, Lee. I really appreciate it, man.